Usually when it comes to scary scenarios, some kind of monster is depicted, an unnatural being with horrific abilities. But I must ask you, why make up new monsters when the world is already filled with monsters? The animals of this world is already scary enough. Poison, mass strength, disease, or just attacking you straight up are all weapons in the arsenal of the animal kingdom. And that is what we're gonna talk about today. The most disturbing animals out there in this world. Also, if you're Australian, then feel at home, mates. If there is any way to start an iceberg about weird animals, it'll be the blobfish. We have all seen the famous photo of this fish being described as the most ugly fish of the 7 seas. And even though you love to bully this thing, it's actually not how it usually looks. This fish lives in the deep depths of the ocean, where the high pressure makes it look more normal. In itself, this fish isn't dangerous, but it is weird. It lacks muscles and its organs have a density about the same as water. The flying fox isn't a flying fox. The flying fox bat is a giant bat which can be found around the same place as the Polynesians. Perhaps they had something to do with it. These suckers are just that, bats, which some people think are scary. But they are like 3 times the size of a normal bat. And look at those wings. Sam! While the animals themselves aren't that harmful towards humans, they are still bats which do carry a lot of disease, which humans can get. So even though they aren't going to attack you, they will give you a 4,000-year-old disease. So they kind of attack you. Childhood shows using a joke about the sea and carpeting? Here I go. The sawfish is a strange fish in the seas which has a saw as a nose. It is also known as a carpenter shark, which is why I love people who give names to animals. These fish are a rare bunch, which have been hunted near extinction because of their mythological factor and their cool looks. Their only remaining strongholds are around Australia and Florida. Why is there a link between tropical and animal-rich areas and weirdos? There is, aren't there? And yes, they do use their saw as weapons. I fucking love this guy. Nice! Another one of God's cruel jokes. The spoonbill is what would happen if you combined a duck and a flamingo in a scimitar-style thing. They have a flat bill in the shape of a spoon, hence the name. It lives like any old seabird, eating small fish and using its beak. Except it's kind of ugly. Despite their ugliness, their weird beaks are used as some kind of eating mechanism as an advantage. But again, God, go do pottery instead. I mean, Jesus, this is ridiculous. Don't say it, don't say it, alright? This little worm called the Priapulidia, and only that, is a totally normal worm without any kind of special functions. Although its shape is... No, it's totally normal. It is not shaped like anything weird. Get that out of your head. Alright, it's called the penis worm, right? That's the joke. That's the entire reason why it's here. It's not harmful at all. It doesn't hurt anyone. But it's shaped like a dick, and therefore it's funny. Here, have your joke, and go off with it. The Chelideian turtles are one of the 3 living families of the turtle/turtus suborder, and yes, they're called suborders, very fancy, of Pleurodia. They're not that harmful. I mean, they just swim around and are turtles. The worst thing they're gonna do is put in their neck, although they do it sideways somehow. Their shape is also very fascinating. They have a weird nose and a long neck. Their shells are also quite unusual. They aren't that special. They just aren't that normal in the animal kingdoms. It lives in Australia, but besides that, it's not actually dangerous. It doesn't do anything, unlike everything else over there. Rays are a giant family of fish which actually comes from sharks. All rays more or less have the same anatomy. They're flat fish with a long tail, and that's it. They're flat boys. Although some aren't that dangerous, the stingray can very well be. They don't attack that much, only when provoked or stepped on, which is what happens every now and again. Usually when they're on the beach, you should be careful, as getting too close to them might scare them and they will attack you, which is fatal. That is sadly also what happened back in 2006 when Steve Irwin got attacked by one on the beach. Despite his famous death by one, it's actually still quite rare, and he was only the second one attacked by one in Australia since 1945. So, vampires and bats usually have some kind of connection. Well, here is the ultimate one. The vampire bat, the bat with vampire abilities. They live in the Americas in all areas around the south of Mexico, and they hunt at night. When everything is pitch black, these flying hotties go out to attack prey, where they will suck their blood from their body. They usually attack mammals, which also means they can attack humans, and they have done so a few times. In the pitch black nothingness, that'll happen to you. And even though sucking your blood is kind of over the line, they'll also give you rabies. So wow, thank you Dracula. Jesus. Huh, well, technically all animals are naked, but sure, whatever. The naked mole rat is one hell of an ugly creature. While this little rodent likes to live on the ground in the Horn of Africa, it's actually quite an incredible creature. It lacks any kind of pain sensitivity, meaning that it can't feel any kind of pain, at least when it comes from the outside. On the inside it can, but on the outside, when you kick it, it can't feel it. They're also resistant against cancer and oxygen deprivation. So, super rats in a way. They might be cool in the inside, and with a lack of pain and all, however they still look like a cruel joke from God. They look like rats which aren't finished, and God just said, you know what, fuck it, let's see what happens, put them down there. Horseshoe crabs are neither crabs nor horseshoes. These suckers aren't gonna attack you, or by any chance kill you. However, they are gonna scare you, as they are quite weird creatures. They come in large groups, and they have blue blood, because of the copper in their blood. These horseshoe crabs are famously known for being very old. Their fossils can be found 240 million years ago, being more or less the same shape. If it ain't broken, then why evolve? The lion's mane jellyfish might be a very mighty name, but trust me, these creatures are very extremely stupid. First off, they don't actually have a brain, and they're actually extremely fucking stupid. They just swim around in circles, sometimes into walls, without doing anything special at all. Sometimes, and most often as people see, they die by going ashore. They're so dumb, they can't even swim in the fucking water. However, even the most dumbest people can be dangerous. Actually, especially to them. These creatures can actually sting and can hurt a lot. They aren't gonna attack you per se, but if you swim too close, they might sting you. It's gonna hurt, sure, but it'll be over before you know it. You can also fix it mid-pain, although it does not involve peeing on people. Whoever made that might be the dumbest or smartest guy in the entire world. Or just an asshole, I guess. Actually, vinegar might help more. Fun fact. I'm taking a fat guess that whoever found this animal in Australia didn't quite like it. Thorny devil. But I'll tell you, I do. New favorite fucking animal. This thing rocks. Also, remove the T for a joke. Are you laughing now? I'm not. This little thorny devil can be found in the Australian outback, where it lives off the ants and dew in the morning. It has this weird thing where it can suck the dew from its body up to its mouth. It's amazing. It also has a fake head on top of its neck to confuse predators. It is generally harmless and can only really do harm to you if you try to grab it and get stung by those spikes. Also, the spikes, it's filled with them. They look like pufferfish, but puffed all the time. It's cool as hell. You can't disagree with me here, right? The classic go-to. Snakes. Any snakes, there are 1,000 of them, are those long animals we all know and well don't like. They live everywhere, so you are never truly safe from them. While some aren't dangerous and will only bite you, some will definitely kill you. They'll poison you, strangle you, eat you. They'll do it all, baby. They are the go-to dangerous animal because they are just so unusual, strange, and, well, highly lethal. Trapjaw ants are ants with a fucking Mike Tyson pincher in the front of them. It apparently works like a controlled bear trap where it can snap at a speed of up to 230 kilometers an hour in a millisecond, which is used to kill, knock out, take home, and then kill. Usually, ants aren't that annoying unless they found a way to your home, in which case, fuck them. But these fuckers right here are always gangsters. They are top notch. One ant might not be that bad, but it's known for attacking bigger foes, but of course it still can't kill humans. But again, this little guy comes in groups of thousands. So if you annoy them like you step in their ant hill, they'll storm you and just punch the shit out of you. It'll hurt like hell, but they aren't gonna kill you, you know? The king of the animal kingdom is an animal you most likely know of, and would be scared shitless if you actually saw. They've become a symbol of bravery and courage, despite the fact that they've actually been royally fucked by nature, or us, during its time. They used to reign all the way from Europe to Africa and Asia, but now they're just here. Those poor bastards. The so-called kings of the animal kingdom, huh? While they don't actively try to hunt humans, they will eventually try to attack you to be more dominant. They will slay you up, slice you into pieces, and eat you alive, and then afterwards die slowly, bleeding out as half your organs are missing. But besides that, they're usually very chill. Piranhas are freshwater fish which are known for being very aggressive at basically everything. They eat almost everything, any living creature, and plants, making them omnivores. The second they get the chance to eat anything, whether that be fish or animals stepping down to the water, they will attack and eat. That includes humans every now and again. And don't go around thinking that they are rare. They're actually quite common. They live in the seas, the rivers, the lakes, the oceans. Everywhere there is water, there might be a piranha. And they don't hesitate with biting, bitch. Now, what is this dubious little thing? It's a deep-sea hatchetfish, a fish that is shaped like a hatchet. All the intestines are squished together like a flat tire. They also come in glow-in-the-dark versions because the deep dark in fishland, it's always glowing down there, which can vary depending on the light, as camouflage. They do look horrifying, but it could be worse. They don't really do anything, they're just scary looking. Oh god, what happened to you? Oh, you were born. Oh, Christ. This thing is one of Australia's finest armed animals, which already gives a few questions. First, an answer. Australia is hell. Second, how in the world can something like animals be armed? Second Amendment? Well, no, it's just tough, meaning it'll punch you back, even if you didn't punch first. Kind of dicks. And yes, they will punch you if you come close, giving great injuries that might take up to several months to heal. They're just punch-out animals. Australia, how the hell do you get anywhere at any time with your wildlife being like this? It's literally fighting coral. The annoying one of the flying yellow boys trio. We got the nice little worker, the clumsy big guy, and then the asshole with wings. The wasp isn't really a deadly creature per se, but is a pain, we all know, in multiple ways. They don't make honey, they aren't cute or comfy, no, they're annoying little brats who fly around, stinging you without dying. That's only the little worker who does that, and annoys you when you're having a nice picnic or a dinner outside. They sting sometimes without provocation and just kind of annoys you. Yo, okay, don't get near these things. Fucking run away. Okay, we all know it. We are the predators around. Yeah, a lion might kill me one-on-one, but when I have a fucking gun, then it's a different tale. I might become a dentist as well, who knows. We kill all species and we do it fast. We, however, also save a lot of animals from nature. Hunting, while directly killing animals, does also protect the species from starvation and overpopulation. We take care of farm animals more and more as the day goes. I mean, cats and dogs don't even move a finger nowadays because of us, so they can't say shit about us being evil. You get petted for a living and do nothing in return. We take care of all kinds of animals. We are a bit of both, actually. We do kill a lot, but we also don't kill a lot. I know a lot of you aren't gonna love these, even though they're literally the least harmful things in the entire universe. These little buggers are bugs which are extremely small and are called millipedes. They got their names millipede because of milli as in millions of legs, and pede because something about Latin and animals, I guess. You see these little bastards all around the world, especially in the summer on the tree stumps and whatnot. Again, they could not be less harmful, but again, phobias are just a thing for some reason. Even the most harmless things can be scary. So, they might not do anything, but imagining them crawling all over you, being all around you, surrounded by these little buggers. And then, you might be scared, or not. Depends on the person. Now, the swan might look like the most beautiful, elegant animal in the entire animal kingdom, but trust me, those bastards will break your leg if you get too close. That is also why Denmark chose it as its natural animal. Small and pretty, yet they will fuck you up. Not only will they attack you with their wing, which can break bones, they also chase you if you get too close to their legs. They're very protective of their young, therefore don't get too close to them. Although also don't be afraid to feed them bread every now and again. From personal experience, those bastards are aggressive and they do hiss at you with that teeth tongue. They are aggressive and dangerous, believe it or not. Release the Kraken! This giant squid could most likely be an inspiration for a real-life kraken. They live in the deep seas and are extremely large, being up to 13 meters. That is quite a meal. Sorry, I'm hungry. Of course, having a giant monster beneath the seas is quite amazing to some, making it quite a looked-after animal. It has been hunted for ages because who doesn't want a giant squid to their name? While they could potentially attack humans, they don't really do that. Although they do have an enemy, the sperm whale, a kind of battle between the two, and sometimes the kraken does win. So imagine a giant squid defeating a whale. Imagine what it could do with a ship. Perhaps the Norse tale of the kraken is actually real. That is one ugly fish. The anglefish is a deep-sea fish which is known for its lure, which is used to get its prey close by tricking it into thinking it's something small like food. However, it becomes the food, as this guy pops out. While being no danger to humans, actually quite the opposite, they are still little freaky creatures which the deep seas holds a lot of. Vultures are the sly and cunning animals of the animal kingdom. Even though they are capable of killing, they rarely do, unless the prey already has half a foot in the grave or is literally dead. These animals are scavengers and bide their time until they find a dead cairn on which they feed themselves. They're a weird hidden bunch which has become synonymous with the image of death, as a corpse is almost always nearby these animals. They stay out of trouble so not be attacked, and therefore wait until someone has been attacked and killed and live alone. A good strategy, but still, you are waiting for someone else to do the job for you, which isn't really, I don't know what to say. It is cunning, but it's still like, do it yourself, man, come on. You got a giant beak and it can kill, you just don't want to because you're lazy. Fun fact, he has put both centipedes and giant centipedes in the same tier. A fright, perhaps. Less fun fact, it can kill you. Well, it has killed one person through documented history by using its poison. Second fun fact, it has deadly poison inside of it. They grow up to a wide 30 centimeters, which is about the length of a PC monitor. So look at that right there, on the bottom. That is one giant poisonous centipede. That is one long boy. It only really lives in South America, but still, hideous creature. Oh yeah, bird eater. It does eat birds, although it is rare. This is the largest spider in the world, weighing up to 175 grams, and could roughly fit inside your hands. They act more or less as spiders, but do have some special traits. The female doesn't kill the male during mating, although it does live up to 6 to 8 years, while the female lives up to 25. A bit of an advantage, I would say. But you aren't gonna see the feminists talking about that, are you? Typical feminist. The female lays up to 200 eggs, which burst about 6 or 8 weeks later and comes crawling right after you. But it isn't really dangerous to you, it's more of a scare factor if anything. I mean, they're gonna crawl on you a lot, but they're not gonna do anything. Oh yeah, giant earthworms. They're real and endangered. These suckers can reach an entire 3 meters of length, which is to say, 3 school tables. Fuck. I mean, usually they're a finger long, and now there are 3 tables. That's like 20 times as large as normal, at the least. And of course, they can only be found in one place, Victoria, Australia. They're even a tourist attraction for some reason. Come on, honey, let's see the 3-meter worms. They aren't deadly by any means, but they are still like an uncomfortable presence. Imagine one of these popping up the fucking ground while just taking a walk through the forest. Hideous. But again, why would you ever walk through Australian wildlife? You would die 3 times. Another vampire animal. Except this guy is something else. The vampire ground finch is one of the few hemiphagic birds in the world, which means it drinks blood to survive. On occasions, it does eat the usual as well, like worms or whatnot. But if it ever does become too hungry, it'll attack other birds and hack at their skin until blood is fucking drawn. And the weird thing is, some of these birds, when attacked, don't even resist the attack at all, but accept them. The blue-footed boobies, and yes, that is a real bird name, in fact just sits there and takes it like a bitch. Well, it might be because the vampire finch cleans the prey of parasites. which is a rather good thing. So it's kind of like two bros helping each other out, except with boobs and vampires, taking parasites out of each other. What the fuck is this place? What kind of horror land of cruel jokes is the Darwin Islands? Oh wow, God's own nightmare view. The long-legged Japanese spider crab is an animal that can be found en masse in Japan. While there is a bunch of meat to capture, there's also a bunch of nightmare fuel to conquer. It has the longest leg span of any arthropod, seems like a nightmare with those pickup claws, but are heavily sought after because of their great amount of crab meat which can be found on them. They are so popular in Japan that they're actually endangered and need to be protected because they could, well, die out because of the pure amount of fishing we do. Prepare for trouble and make it double. You thought they were only on land? Ha! They're in the water as well. They're everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Although it only lives in this area. These little creatures are just that. Literal snakes in the water. You are never safe. And they can swim and slither on land as well. So you're never safe. On the beach, there were two kind of snakes. Who knew it? Most aren't gonna kill you. Don't worry, but some will kill you for sure. Despite the name, these suckers are not sweet. They're spicy, with beatings. The honey badger is not only hostile as shit, they will fight to the last laugh. They're known for fighting until the very fucking end against all odds. True warrior animals. They're often a nuisance towards humans, not because they kill humans, but because they kill stock for a sport. They literally break down hen houses just to kill and then leave without taking anything at all. Although they do attack humans, truly. And you thought the wasp was an asshole. Here's a wasp of wasps, the giant hornet. If you look here, it can fit in your hand pretty comfortably. So if you think a honeybee's stung will hurt you, then imagine getting shanked by this shit. The sting might not kill you, by the first time at least, but remember, these hornets live in groups and will jump you if you ignore them. By that, more than 30 stings, which has happened more than once, might I just say. It has also killed several with its stings, and it brings fuck all to society. Fuck all. Well, they do bring fried larvae in Japan, but that's disgusting. Honeybees bring honey, and you bring stings and fried baby worms. No, I'm not gonna buy that, you're an asshole. The emerald cockroach wasp is not a cockroach, but in fact their worst nightmare. The emerald wasp is not as dangerous to humans as their brothers, the flying wasps. Also, why is it called the flying wasps? All wasps fly. It's like calling them walking humans. And again, it's no danger to us, but the cockroaches fear them like hell. And that is because the emerald wasp uses cockroaches to reproduce. So, how is that done? Well, I'm gonna tell you. First, the emerald wasp stings a cockroach so it paralyzes it totally. Then, it bites off its antennas and poisons its brain so it can't escape. Therefore, it drags the cockroach from one place to another using its antennas like a leash. Then, it digs a hole which it puts the cockroach in, whereafter it lays its eggs, finally. Then, after a few days, the eggs hatch, and the larvae begin to eat the inside of the cockroach, slowly taking intestines and intestines until it's full. And then the cockroach finally dies. After that, the cocoon uses the cockroach as a kind of house, until it's finally prepared to become a full emerald wasp, whereafter the cycle continues once again. So cockroaches, watch the fuck out. The amplipiki, this spider thing here is very scary. This is almost some kind of crab-spider hybrid, as even though it is clearly a spider, it uses crab-like behavior. It does have a total of 8 legs, yet only uses 6 of them, and the forward 2 are used as kind of feelers. And not only with that, but they also walk sideways. Crab spiders. But don't let that cute little feature scare you. Those bastards can be long, almost 70 centimeters long. Even if the body isn't that big, they'll still crawl up you like no tomorrow. The coconut crab can be found where coconuts do, and is one of the biggest crabs in the world. Its thick shell and large size make it a fearful creature. It is so intimidating that it only has 2 kinds of predators: other coconut crabs and us, humans. They don't really do a lot, just kind of crawling up coconut trees and taking coconuts out, which are more dangerous. The coconut kills more people than coconut crabs. Fun fact. Actually, fun warning, don't sit on a coconut tree, it could kill you. Another reason to love those name animals. Fucking brutal. These ugly little creatures have eyes on top of their heads and a large, brutal mouth. The eyes also led to their top tier name. This isn't totally one of God's cruel jokes, but it might actually be a gift. They use these unusual features as a trap design. They hide down in the sand at the bottom of the seafloor and pops up and attacks the prey above, making their appearance very useful actually. But still, calling them stargazers is hilarious. This is most likely one of the most scary of the vampire animals. The vampire squid is a squid with joint tentacles like an umbrella with spikes beneath them. They use these spikes to attack and attach to predators. They might look scary, but it's only about 30 centimeters long, again, like your screen. Actually, that is scary. They could like bite onto your head and just suck on it. Actually, scratch that, they're scary as hell. I mean, they aren't gonna hurt humans, and you're not gonna see one because they live in the deep depths of the ocean in the tropical areas, so very rare. But they could kill something if they wanted to. Also, buy now and glow in the dark. Staying on the topic of octopi and squids, here's another one you might encounter if you're Australian. Yeah, they're smaller and more deadly and common. This is actually one of the most venomous animals in the entire world, with a strong enough poison to kill a man, which it has. Actually, killing a man is an understatement. They can kill up to 26 grown-ass men within minutes if they use all their poison in one fell swoop. Although, luckily, this guy is easy to identify. They have flashing colors which are used as a kind of defense mechanism, scaring off predators. It's not gonna scare off you, but still, run away, you don't wanna die, do you? Unless you have a death wish, that is. But why would you die by squid? If you're gonna commit suicide, why by squids? The goblin shark is yet another gremlin from the seas. Despite the name, it's not that much of a goblin, being actually 3 meters wide. It's quite the mysterious fish being seen all around the world. Actually, most places, but still rarely seen. We have yet to actually find a pregnant goblin shark to study their mating and birthing process. Yet there is one thing that is 100% known about these things, that being their extended mouth. The goblin shark can extend its mouth to bite and eat predators off guard, making it somewhat famous. You've seen it, I've seen it, someone has seen it. The lamprey eel or lamprey fish, or just a lamprey straight up, are a jawless fish which can be found many places in the world, both in Germany and Japan, where they even got folklore. Now, why would these fish and eels get specific places in folklore, you might ask? They're called Nine Eyes in both countries because their gills remind them of eyes. Yet that isn't the most scary thing about these creatures. That would be their mouth. Yeah, no jaw leads to some kind of experiment by nature. And this is a scary result. And don't worry, they do bite. They suck on you and just stay there. And that goes for this fish as well. Poor lad, but what can you do? Electric eels are real eels despite some people think they're fake, which, oh boy, do not hesitate. As the name says, these little bastards will shock you multiple times and very heavily. They attack as soon as they see prey, as them being scared gives them shocks. They aren't gonna kill you, but they are very unpleasant and the pain is about the same as touching an electric fence. Which I've done about 3 times because I was a very dumb child as a child. And look at me now, a dumb adult. Now, worms by themselves are kind of yucky. But what if they were 2 meters long, parasite-birthing, swimming pool-living monsters? Well, I present to you the horsehair worm. While harmless towards humans, only attacking arthropods, they are known for spreading larvae into their foes, which will begin to control the host as it grows older. It only lives near water, despite a lot of its prey living on land. Therefore, when their host has been more or less controlled, they make them wander off to the nearest body of water, either be a swimming pool or a puddle of water, to drown themselves. And thus he is home and the cycle continues. An endless ring of death by drowning. And yes, they do live in public swimming pools. Watch out. Or don't, they don't attack you, but still, you. The stonefish, a close, ugly looking friend of the stargazer, is a dangerously poisonous fish which can be found in and around the Indo-Pacific. These stony fish are fatal to men, especially Australians, where one Australian has been killed by the poison found in this fish. All it takes is one wrong step and you are dead. Which is of course a bummer, as the stonefish, fun enough, looks a lot like rocks and coral. So next time you're walking on an Australian beach, just know that a single wrong step on a wrong rock could kill you. I'm not doing toads, alright? The Suriname toad is a quite common toad around South America, in a giant area with rainforest and wet weather. The toad itself lives a very normal frog life. Despite not having either tongue or teeth, it still gets around eating dead animals and whatnot. It's a slow-moving, relaxed guy living the South American life. However, the birthing process is disgusting. The male releases its seed over the back of the female, whereafter it sinks down into the back and forms pockets. In these pockets, the seed transfers to tadpoles, which live inside the mother until they're ready to be born. Like this. And they just do this all naturally. Nature, you're nasty. The Candero goes by 2 names, the toothpick fish and the vampire fish. Guess why? They live off of blood and a lot of it too. While they do drink from fish, they do also drink from humans when they get the chance. This Amazonian fish is known for its abundance of attacks on humans. And no, they don't just suck a leg or something. No, they suck a very special place. Actually, it might actually be a leg to some boys. When the first explorers talked about this fish, it wasn't actually encountering them themselves, but actually the natives talking about it. They talked about how they would protect their penises when going out swimming or taking a pee, as these suckers would actually jump up the pee stream into your dick or just attack your dick straight up and sucking on it. And that isn't the BJ you want, at all. Of course, most of these stories are about the dick attacks, as when your dick is attacked by a fish, you talk about it. Although, they do also enter other holes. And that goes for you too, ladies. Don't swim in the Amazon. While some say they're myths, others say, ow, my dick hurt. So watch out, will ya? It's not gonna kill you, but death might be preferable to having a fish live in your bladder. You like squids? Well, what about nightmares? While rarely seen, this fish have nightmare fuel energy being up to 8 meters long. It uses these tentacles as traps to capture food, although that isn't certain. We don't know much about this creature because it is so rare. But still, look at this monster. It could reach you from afar and slowly drag you in the deep depths of the ocean. Like an alien nightmare come to life in our very ocean. Oh, look at that little guy. How could this guy ever be harmful? Well, this might look like a cute little butterfly, but it does carry a deadly weapon. Children. And no, they aren't gonna take away your free time. These little larvae will be laid inside of you. Although only one species of butterfly is known to attack humans, that is still an animal attacking humans by laying eggs inside of them. The female, once the male has fertilized the eggs, drops them over the host like an aircraft bomber, doing this until you've laid between 100 and 400 eggs. These eggs sit in the host and slowly dig inside, while the host hardly even notices. They then grow up inside the host, and those suckers can grow up to 1.5 centimeters long. And despite only being one species of butterfly, they still have a special trick up their sleeve. It doesn't have to be the butterfly itself who lays these eggs in the host. It can make other animals drop them for them by attaching the eggs to them. These animals include houseflies, mosquitoes, or ticks. In other words, despite not being around, the butterfly could still drop eggs inside of you by using simple things as houseflies and mosquitoes, which some see every day. Feral pigs are your average farm pigs who have somehow escaped the farm. They now live in the wild among the rest of the animal kingdom. However, they have taken on a different shape. They are like punished pigs. They run wild in America, the UK, and Australia. However, don't think these little cute little animals will be friendly. No, these little bastards have not forgotten humanity by putting them in a farm, and will attack humans unprovocated, just charging at you. It has attacked hundreds of people, and have even killed 5 without reason. This is of course quite a problem, where no one is safe from the feral pigs, who have attacked both in nature and in the middle of towns. This also means that people now hunt them not only for sport, but as an entire business. They're a threat to humans, therefore they can be hunted quite easily. There are also thousands upon thousands of them. The sheep's head fish is not a fish with a sheep's head, even though that would be scary as hell. In fact, its head is not fluffy at all. It's scary, and its teeth are even worse. This fish eats sheltered animals like oysters, crabs, barnacles, and more. These animals are of course known for their hard shells, which the sheephead fish have to crush, which they can. With one bite, they can crush an entire animal and eat the soft bits inside. I mean, with that bite, imagine what it could do with a human. It is not known for attacking humans, but still, its mouth is literally a living butcher's knife. It could cut off your foot like butter. And that was all. The animal kingdom of cruelty. These animals are monsters in their own right, and should be looked upon more often. I mean, monsters and cryptids are cool, but animals like these, they are cool and real. Why have nightmares when they live in the ocean, and forests, and Australia? A lot in Australia. How do Aussies survive anything? Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, of course, I got a bunch of other icebergs you can watch on the channel. Among other stuff, of course. I upload daily for the foreseeable future, and I got a lot of things coming. So of course, subscribe, like, and as always, stay tuned.